What is up, my fellow Eagle Fang, Miyagi-Do, and Cobra Kai frenemies, or friends, whatever you prefer. In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's sort of been, I feel, alluded to in the previous seasons, and that's been Robby and his, Tweedledum and Tweedledum-ass, as Johnny would put it, his old pals, if you will. The guys he used to sort of hang around with, smoking dope, skipping school. And I bring these guys up because I think Robby's going to undergo a similar arc to what Hawk did in the season past, where he wants to be, Hawk wanted to be the #1 Cobra, and there was constant tests, constant barriers in front of him to try and, prove that he was the #1 Cobra. And ultimately, the moment that I felt made or broke him, no pun intended there, was the moment where he snapped Dimitri's arm. I think that was the moment where he himself felt like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm starting to really doubt, do I even want this anymore? I'm questioning myself. I feel like Robby is in line for a similar kind of thing, but instead of doubting himself, he might become more assured. Let me explain. In Season 1, when these two donuts want to break into LaRusso Autos and steal rims and steal that kind of stuff, and Robby's in on it, you can see his hesitation, that he doesn't want to go through with it. And then he waits till they come to the compound and he says, you know what, nah, I get those things confused. I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm not going to give you any codes. And then that's when he starts using the Miyagi-Do teachings to fight back, to fight against them. And from there, he's on the floor, uses the security camera to say, hey, you're on camera. Better leave me alone. But then we cut to Season 2, where it's a day out at the beach. A nice day out, fun for the family. And Amanda's wallet goes missing. And Robby immediately knows, right, okay, these guys are up to no good again. Because obviously they used to do stuff there before. So, the summer previously maybe. So he goes to the spot, finds the stash. And I feel like we were in position for Robby to really kick their ass at that moment. Now, I know they had like a third man that blindsided Robby with that paddle, and then Daniel came in, landed in, superhero landing, and saved the day like a Mr. Miyagi sort of presence. But I feel like Robby was really raring to go, to sort these two out, and that was with the Miyagi-Do teachings. Now that he's sort of removed himself from that, and he's now in, Cobra Kai, and he's, full on that, I feel like a real test for him, right? And as good as Robby's character has been, and I say this way, where Robby hasn't gone through two seasons of growth and development and Miyagi-Do teaching for it to just toss it all out into the, to just throw it all out the window, is what I'm saying. But I do feel like, at least this season, we're going to see Robby embrace that inner darkness that he has, because it's very similar to Hawk's, but Robby's, I feel, is a little bit more convicted, if you know what I mean. He's a little bit more sure of what he wants. And with Kreese in his ear, Silver coming into the mix, potentially Mike Barnes, I feel like we're going to get Robby versus his old pals, Trey and Cruz, and I feel like this time he's going to show no mercy and absolutely pummel the crap out of both of them. And I feel like this will feed into his arc, right? Because as I've said before, his arc is Daniel's arc extended. And Daniel's arc in Karate Kid 3 was when he started using the Cobra Kai teachings, Silver paid off a guy to punch him in the nightclub, or to try and walk away with the girl in Jessica in the nightclub, and then Daniel turns around and just socks him right in the face. That's going to be a similar thing to Robby. Now, I don't know if Silver's going to pay these two to jump Robby or something like that. I could totally see that happening. It could be a nice little parallel. As I've said, there's a lot of that in this show, where parallels and, history repeats. But regardless of how they get to this situation, Robby's going to go up against them in some way, shape, or form as a test of his Cobra nature. And he'll have Kyler, Tori, either side of him, and all of his Cobra Kai pals looking to him the same way they were all looking to Hawk when Hawk had Dimitri on the ground. They were looking to him in that sense to, to take charge, to be the #1 Cobra. And Robby will go through with it, and he'll put them both on their ass. But I do feel like this will serve into a broader sense of story, where as soon as Daniel did it in Karate Kid 3, he immediately regretted it. Immediately. He didn't, dwell on it for half the season like Hawk did. He immediately regretted it. straight away. He called up and he said, look, I want to speak with him. I want to apologize for what I just did. And the speech that Daniel gave to them, I did a video about this about a month ago, so if you haven't seen it, go and check that out. Where it was Daniel telling the story of the time he joined Cobra Kai, and, you know, how it turned him into an angry, violent kid. It's literally going to be the same thing here. Robby's going to be an angry, violent kid, you know, laying the smackdown on anyone that he, you know, deems either a threat, doesn't like, gets in his way, or he just, you know, feels like doing it to. And I feel like these two are definitely prime candidates for that kind of thing to happen. And despite what we as the audience feel about these two, I think there is a connection between Robby and them, because despite the father, you know, Johnny not being around, despite the mother not being around, these two, no matter how, you know, much of a bad influence they were, smoking dope and all that kind of stuff, they were there for Robby, you know? Regardless of good way or bad way, Robby will still, you know, see it from that angle of, you know, I was hanging with these dudes way back when, you know, scamming people in Tech Town, you know, getting laptops and selling them and skating with these guys. And then it will feed into his Miyagi-Do, where as soon as Daniel came into his life, that's when things started to change for him. And this could be the catalyst for his quote-unquote redemption. Now, do I feel like this will his redemption will happen in Season 4? Yes and no. I feel like Season 4 will start his redemption, and in Season 5, that's when it will really sort of manifest. But I think for majority of Season 4, if not at least the whole season, you're going to just see a Robby where he still cares about other people. He still, he still gives a flying hoot about others. He still looks out for other people, and that's where it's going to be interesting seeing him clash against Silver and Kreese, and potentially Barnes, because a person like Hawk could be swayed. He was swayed by them because of his desire to be number one. Robby doesn't really have that desire. He just becomes number one where he goes because he's just, he's Johnny Lawrence's son. He's the heir to the throne, if you will. So naturally, he'll have a bit more resistance towards them. Now, the reason I say his redemption could happen in Season 5 is because Kreese, just in the space of maybe a couple of days during the timeline, got right in his ear. And just changed Robby completely. Now imagine over the course of a couple of months, with Silver and maybe Barnes, Robby could potentially get even worse. And this will all build to a crescendo where Robby will come back to reality. He'll come back, and it could go either way. He'll go to Daniel and he'll say, look, I'm sorry, I've screwed up. He'll fight for them in the tournament, and then him. And I've said this before, just imagine, I don't think we can call this, because this show is a place right now where anything's on the table. There is so much potential with where Robby could go. Robby could face Miguel in the All Valley Finals. Robby could fight unaffiliated in the tournament. Robby could fight for Cobra Kai and win. Or, hell, Robby could even leave Cobra Kai before the tournament, fight for Daniel and Johnny in the tournament and win. Who knows? That could be his redemption. He could win it, not for Kreese, but for Johnny and Daniel. That could be a nice full circle for that character. Now, I know that, Season 4 will probably wrap up the main war, if you know what I mean. So Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai. It will wrap up that war, but you still have 2 more seasons, potentially, of good story, of where you just round off these characters' arcs, and you set them up for the future. You set Robby off on a new journey in Okinawa. You set Miguel up as the new sensei. You set Hawk and Dimitri up in universities or college or wherever, or what have you. So lots of potential there. But I want to get your guys' thoughts, and I really appreciate the kind words that you guys have said to me. You really appreciate me interacting with you guys down in the comments, and I really appreciate that. That's cool. It's nice to do these videos and see what other people have to say about them. So guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Do you think this is a rematch that is happening, or would you like to see it? What would you like to see in, how would you like to see it end, between these 3 involved here? Robby, Trey, and Cruz, these particular 3, with the history that they share. And again, I just want to say this, it's literally just a theory, it's just harmless speculation. If this doesn't happen, then, don't be disappointed. Just enjoy the show for what it is, rather than what you want it to be. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, I will see you all in another video soon. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, And I think I'm going to go with the new tagline. I think Mohammed commented this. And he said, what was it? In the King's English? In the King's English, it's good old-fashioned bedwetting. Dimitri line for you.